What's up, wrestling fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast coming at you once again with another action figure unboxing video. This time I'm taking a look at 4 different WWE Elites. In this video, I'll have a look at Doudrop, aka Piper Niven, Stephanie McMahon, Shayna Baszler, and Raquel Gonzalez. Here's a look at Doudrop, who has gone back to her former name of Piper Niven. There she is on the front of the package. There's a shot of Doudrop on the side of the packaging. There's an action shot of Doudrop on the back. And here's a look at the other wrestlers who have figures in this wave. And there's a brief bio of Doudrop. And here's a look at Stephanie McMahon. I found this figure on sale. She has the old school women's title. I'm always in the market for figures who have titles, especially ones I don't have. There's a shot of Stephanie on the side. On the back, we get an action shot of Stephanie. There are the other wrestlers who have figures in this wave, and a brief bio of Stephanie McMahon. Here we have the NXT Fan Takeover Shayna Baszler. There's the NXT Women's Belt. I found this figure in an Ollie's. There's a shot of Shayna Baszler. There's another action shot on the back. And here's a look at the other wrestlers who have figures in this wave. And here we see Raquel Gonzalez, now going by Raquel Rodriguez. And I found this figure on sale. I was very happy to pick it up since she doesn't have this look anymore. Here's a shot of Raquel on the side. We get an action shot of Raquel on the back. And here's a brief bio of Raquel Gonzalez in NXT, as well as a look at the other wrestlers available in this wave. And now it's time to bust these figures out of the packages and see what's inside. Let's have a look at Doudrop here. There's a lot of things to like about this figure. Mattel did a really good job with the fishnets. That's paint. The jacket is soft goods. The likeness isn't perfect, but it's a pretty good effort. The sculpting and paint application up here on the flowers as well as the hair, that's all extremely well done. Unfortunately, the paint job on mine is a little sloppy, but I do like this blue paint choice for the singlet. Here's a closer look at the jacket. This was easy enough to slip off without feeling like I was stressing the material. I really have to give Mattel credit here for doing the fishnet design on the singlet. That is accurate to her attire. The body mold is accurate, and I also like these wrinkles that have been sculpted into the back here. In terms of articulation, the legs are the most problematic area. You can only get her to kick forward that far. She does have the double jointed knees, so you can get her into a running pose. She has the ankle pivoting here. Her legs only go out from the sides that far, and she doesn't step back. The hip area blocks that. She does have pivoting at the waist, swiveling at the upper torso. The head moves side to side well, but that's pretty much it. There's not much movement up and down, and you can't get her to tilt her head. So I was a little disappointed there. She has the bicep swivel. She also has the wrist rotation. She has the double jointed elbows. Also good range of motion from the shoulder joints. You can actually get her hands to touch in front of her, and I appreciate that. So I'd say the articulation in the upper body is acceptable. It's the lower body where it's subpar. Although I did forget to mention that she has the quadricep swivel. But overall, I still think that this is an attractive figure. Now we'll have a look at Stephanie McMahon. And spending so much time on the internet and seeing the acronym SMH, for some reason I was thinking, shaking my head, and I thought, did she use that as part of her gimmick back then? Was that her catchphrase? And then I realized Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. That makes a lot more sense. The shirt is soft goods clothing, and she has the pants style lower body. Mattel did an excellent job with the appearance of her hair. You can see the sculpting on the back here. So let's get a look at the figure without the t-shirt. So here she is with a basic tank top. It's solid black, just like the pants. And here she is with the alternate set of pointing hands. By the way, both of these have the colored nails. And I'm really pleased with the way those look. There's lots of wrinkles sculpted into the tank top. And I'm pleased with the way that looks. She has this huge stamp, and I'm glad that that's on the back and underneath the t-shirt if you keep the t-shirt on her. And now we'll have a look at the WWE Women's Championship belt, if I can get her to stand up, that is. This is the Attitude Era Women's Championship belt. And I really like this gold plastic. It really looks like metal. You can see just how reflective that is. Initially, I thought that Mattel had omitted a plate on one of the sides, but that's not the case. Here's how the plastic is held into the strap. You can see the light dancing off of this gold metallic paint, and the red and the blue choices are accurate as well. The ankle articulation on this figure is somewhat limited due to the style of pants, but she does have the double jointed knees, so you can get her into a good running pose. She has the quadricep swivel, although it looks kind of weird when you do that with this particular figure. You can get her to kick forward that far, and her legs go out to the side that much. You can rotate them outward if you like. She steps back a little bit, and I'm always thankful for the ability of a figure to do that. She has the pivoting at the waist, upper torso swivel. The shoulder joints allow for 360 degrees of rotation. And you can rotate her arms out and back that far, so I'm impressed with that. She has the bicep swivel and double jointed elbows. And you can see the type of posing options that those give you. In terms of the head sculpt, the hair presents a little bit of a problem. You can get her to look side to side easily, but once again, that seems to be pretty much it, and you've really got to be careful with the hair. The up and down movement and the tilting is minimal on this figure. One other criticism, even though I made the belt as tight as possible, it still doesn't want to sit flush on her hips. And here is Shayna Baszler out of the package and ready to rumble. And this is just an outstanding figure. You can see the likeness there. The way they've done that basic slicked back hair. The musculature, the pose. The hands that they gave her. And look at the texturing on her tights here. That is really superb work. The silver paint is excellent. You can see the tattoo there. And the towel is a great touch. It really completes the look of the figure in this pose. Here's a closer look at the towel. Good sculpting on this. It actually has a realistic look. And here is the NXT Women's title belt. And this has been executed very well. It's thicker than I thought it would be, and the metallic look is very pleasing. So here's a look at articulation. She has the bicep swivel. And here's the range of motion on the ankle. It moves backward and forward. This figure has some visible pegs swiveling at the top of the boot. And you can get her leg to go up about this far. And I feel like the bottom portion of this double jointed knee is really tight. So I may have to try to loosen that up at a later time. I certainly don't want to force it here because I don't want to do paint damage. This figure has the quadricep swivel. There we go. The hip articulation is better than I thought it would be. You can get her to kick forward that far. She can step back just a little bit, and her hips allow the legs to go out to the sides this far. There's pivoting at the waist, upper torso swivel. There's very good movement in the shoulder joints, and coupled with the bicep swivel, that gives you lots of posing options. Now, this figure is a little different. It is from 2020. This figure has a single jointed peg in the elbow, and you can see that here. It's still pretty good movement, but it is different than the previous two figures. You can get the head to move side to side easily, and once again, there's only minimal movement up and down, and not much in the way of head tilting. And here's a look at Raquel Gonzalez, aka Raquel Rodriguez, out of the package and ready to rumble. And I'm happy that she's had such success with Liv Morgan as a tag team. But again, I really like this look, and I'm glad that we got this figure. The paint applications as well as the shiny jacket are very eye-popping. Here's a closer look at that jacket. Be careful when you're removing this. The material is a little stiff. Here's a closer look at Raquel. I'm very pleased with these very intricate paint applications down here on the boots. Lots of wrinkles sculpted into the tights. I really appreciate the orange color choice for the upper part of the attire. You can see that back here. The sculpting on the hair is also extremely well done. You can see the individual strands. Although I would advise everyone to be careful with that little hair knot that's up there. It feels like if you put too much pressure on it, you might do damage to it. The ankle joints move back and forth very well. They're swiveling at the top of the boot as well as the quadriceps. She has double jointed knees. You can get her into a very good running pose. The waist pivots back and forth. Although it's a little unusual, the spot where it pivots, you can see part of the attire moves with it. Upper torso swiveling. You can see the tattooing there. She has the bicep swivel. Lots of posing options here. You can get her into the big power pose. But I will say that I think her arms are a little undersized. She's such a large wrestler that Mattel should have used bigger arms. But I appreciate the likeness. The head moves back and forth easily. But just like the other figures, there's only minimal movement up and down and only a slight amount of head tilting. Here's a look at the alternate set of hands. They are on hinged pegs like the other hands. And here's a look at the NXT Women's title belt. I thought these were the same initially, but looking at the N and the T, those aren't painted silver on Raquel's belt. But those letters are painted silver on Shayna's belt, so these aren't identical. I certainly hope you have enjoyed this unboxing video. If so, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for some articulation shots, and also remember to catch me on the Way Back Wrestling Mania podcast, which is part of Multiverse Musings, the vidcast, and that's available right here on YouTube. And I'll be back to the internet with more pro wrestling related content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.